Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. If it's your first time listening, thanks for tuning in. I want to apologize to everybody for not having a show last week. We had a last-minute cancellation, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But this week, my guest is comedian Mama Kate. How you doing?
I'm great. Living the dream.
That's great.
Actually, I hate when people say that, actually. I don't know why I say that. Like, really, I have a good life. I don't know why I say it, like, all shitty. Like, oh, I'm living the dream with my house and my car and my kids and my job.
You know what the dream is? And I think this every time I see this commercial. It's for Nordic Track. Mm-hmm. And there's some lady, she's like on a little inclined treadmill. And her house is just like this glass house on a mountain overlooking the river or overlooking the ocean. And that's the dream.
Yeah,
I don't know who the fuck they're trying to appeal to. Mine's going in the corner of my house somewhere. If I have room.
Exactly. It's holding all my clothes.
That's what I was about to say. With a bunch of clothes hanging off of it. That lady's living the dream.
I mean, the house is the dream. I don't know about the Nordic Track. I mean, I don't know many people that are like, oh, if I just had a Nordic Track, my life would be complete.
Yeah, that lady looks like she's living in the Stark house from Iron Man.
Yeah. I don't really think it's the Nordic Track people are admiring in that shot, is what I'm saying.
So how you been doing?
Good. You know, back up and around every day that I'm alive, still breathing and still walking is a success right now, you know?
Well, the day this is coming out is Halloween. Mm-hmm. So trick or treat typically would have been over the weekends. For some people, it might be tonight.
Yeah.
So did you go trick or treating? No issues?
No. Well, you know, we had 6 kids and 3 of them are too old to trick or treat. 3 of them are still trick or treating. But the 3 that went trick or treating went with a friend. And then the older 3 sat out front and handed out candy. So I sat inside and watched the football game. Nice. I know. Like, this is the life.
Not on this feed.
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't have any cookies, so it's kind of weird, I guess, because part of me is like, oh, is this... You know, how many more times do I have to take them trick-or-treating? But I don't know. I guess I'm over it. That's the sad part about having 6 kids. You know, my oldest is, you know, her 18th birthday is Wednesday. So, 18 times now we've gone trick-or-treating. And, or 17, really. But you're just like, yeah, kids, costumes, princesses, zombies, whatever. I've seen it. Come and get candy.
That was my big thing this year is my little girl. It feels like this is probably the last time she's going to want to go and be of an age where it feels okay to take her out.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a bittersweet moment. I think she's still got a year left in her. But,
probably.
You know.
Yeah, but she may want to go with her friends and not with her dad because dads are lame.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you picked up on that
Which
yet.
is fine with me.
Yeah, I know. I want to sit on the couch and watch football. And my sister called me this morning because she has a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. 8-month-old. And she's like, you know, the baby wouldn't sleep last night and, you know, Jonathan's running around. And I'm just like, wow, I got up at 11:30 this morning. I'm just drinking my first cup of coffee and I'm not jealous one bit. Like there used to be a time when I'd look at babies or pregnant women and be like, oh, you know, there's a little twinge of jealousy that I wasn't having a baby. And now I'm just like, fuck that. I had a friend who just had a baby a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, you are 38 years old. What are you doing? Ooh. Having a baby. Do you realize how tired you're going to be? I'm 38 now with a 7-year-old, and I'm exhausted. You know?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm looking forward to is when they're all out of the house, and I can't imagine just having another one now.
Yes, starting over. It's a nightmare. In fact, I had a dream the other night that I was pregnant, and I was pissed. I was mad. Like, no! You know, we haven't had diapers or bottles or, you know, everybody can put on their shoes and tie their shoes. And, you know, even because I was down and out last year, you know, they can get themselves up dressed out the door for school. And so that's a pretty amazing thing when your kids are finally independent. And the thought of having something relying on you all the time is just, oh God, no, please, no. I can't do it. I don't have it in me. Not one twinge of jealousy when I see a baby. I'm just like, you are crazy. I'm sorry.
Oh, I saw on Facebook where you went to get pumpkins for your kids' car. Yeah. And you had 6 in your car, right? Yeah,
I had a cart full of pumpkins, and I forgot that I'd taken my daughter's cabriolet convertible to get 6. And I had, a bunch of groceries as well. So I put all the groceries in the trunk and stacked all the pumpkins up in this VW. And it was, I'm like, well, from now on, we know that, how much can the trunk hold 6 pumpkins worth? Do we have more than 6 pumpkins worth of stuff? Then no, it's not going to fit in there. So I'm measuring everything in pumpkins now.
That story stuck with me because later in the week, I saw where these people in New Jersey, they stole 200 pumpkins from a farm.
Wow.
And it just made me think of you trying to get all the pumpkins in your car.
I know. Well, that's kind of my question in that. I'm like, how did somebody not notice? I mean, 200, you can't even fit 200 pumpkins in the back of a truck. Yeah. They pull up in a semi, in a flatbed, trailer, and they're just loading up pumpkins, and everybody's like, oh, okay, that seems perfectly legitimate.
No, it was like in the middle of the night, and they had a van, and
that's
it
some
took them
dedication.
like 3 trips to get all those pumpkins.
Yeah, but
I think after one, I'm done.
Yeah, really.
I don't know if I'm coming back 2 more times.
What, are they just going to sell all these ill-gotten pumpkins on the side of the road and just, hope that they sell them all?
I don't know, but the owner was pissed.
I know. Go down the street to the guy with 200 pumpkins on the corner, selling them for $1 a piece.
He was like, they took half of our display. This isn't a prank. A prank's when everybody's laughing. I'm not laughing. And I thought, I don't think you know what a prank is. I've been pranked a few times, and I've been pissed about it. It's still a funny prank. It just wasn't to me.
I'd just be pissed that they got off with 200 pumpkins, and I didn't even notice the semi they had pulled up in my yard.
I think the thing that should clue you in that this isn't a prank is it involved theft of a couple of hundred items.
Yeah, exactly. And the time that it takes to move 200 pumpkins. I mean, there had to have been at least more than 2 people involved in this,
That reminds me of a story I did, it's been about a year ago, where these 2 70-year-old people, I think they were in their 70s, maybe their 80s, but they were stealing, truck beds full of tangerines.
Tangerines. Tangerine.
I know how to pronounce the word. I said it wrong, just for everybody listening. I don't need emails with links to the dictionary.
No. Everybody write in and tell Jason how stupid he is.
We've done a lot of stories that actually go back to other things that we've done a year ago, like the scary clown thing that's going on now. We've covered scary clowns ever since the show started. It's really weird looking back. It's like, damn, I remember when all this started and you guys weren't paying attention.
I know. Nobody cared about clowns then. And now look, it's mass clown chaos. But I haven't seen any clowns.
Should have listened to the podcast.
Exactly. This is a public service, not just a comedy show.
Exactly.
We're so on top of it. We're predicting trends.
Did you see where the teenage girl got the giant pumpkin stuck on her head?
No, I did not.
Get it off. Her mom was filming it, and she put this pumpkin on her head to show her brother how much bigger her pumpkin was, because apparently they had this competition for years, and she always wins. Mm-hmm. And she was calling for him to come down the stairs, and she thought it would be funny, but she couldn't get it off because it couldn't get past her ponytail.
Oh, goodness.
It was great. That's a prank.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not.
The prank done on yourself.
If you would have put it on her, okay.
Now, a prank is when a friend of mine went around and stole all of her friends' patio furniture, and then the next day had a party. They all showed up, and all their patio furniture was at her house.
That's great. I used to do so many pranks at work when I had an office job. Mm-hmm. I remember I toilet papered my boss's office when he went to lunch. And I got this huge pack of toilet paper. I used every single roll of it. I'm lucky nobody said anything.
Yeah, really.
Trouble. Yeah, it was a lot of fun working there. I would get like the hole puncher thing, and I would punch holes in all kinds of pieces of paper. And we had like these overhead compartments, and there's a little lip in them. And I would take all the little pieces that I punched the holes,
Yeah.
and I would put them up there. So when people would come in and they'd want to put their coat up there or whatever,
Yeah.
as soon as they put it up,
All the
hundreds of-
things. A shower of confetti. It's like a parade just for them. Who would object? The cleaning people, I imagine.
Yeah. And the best part is, like, a year later, they'd still find a piece, like, under the desk somewhere.
Well, that's like putting tinsel on your tree. You know, you find tinsel months and months later. I think I still have pine needles in my vents.
Damn, that just hit me. It's getting close to that time.
Yeah.
We're only 2 months away.
I know.
Jesus. That's crazy.
I know.
We're going to have to think of a Christmas episode to do.
Can we Christmas carol?
Oh, I remember what I was going to do. This is really stupid. But I thought it would be fun. And I'm going to try to do like a YouTube live thing once we get moved in. And one of the ideas was a rap battle. But it's wrapping presents.
I would win that shit every time.
Oh, I rap so bad. Like,
Well,
I
okay,
put little
it
pieces to
depends.
cover the pieces I didn't
Well,
get. It looks like shit.
Are we doing quality versus quantity? Because quantity-wise, I can wrap like a mofo, but I don't even use scissors. I'm just like tearing wrapping paper, slapping it on, folding the edges. You know, my husband takes an excruciatingly long time to wrap presents. He'll wrap one kid's worth of presents in the time it takes me to wrap the other 5 kids' worth of presents.
I can just hear people out there listening, like, hasn't even been Thanksgiving yet.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So, for all you really angry Thanksgiving-loving people, stop talking about how Christmas is coming in 2 months.
Yeah.
And soccer just wrapped up.
Oh, God,
you
yes.
had a little story about
As
that.
I said, unless anything has happened on the soccer field or the football field, I don't know anything about what's going on in the world. So, yeah, the last game at home, and it was a tournament game. The athletic director had warned me that there was problems. That they were having issues with the PA system before the game. And I didn't think much of it because, you know, that happens pretty much all the time. But it came time to play the national anthem. It wouldn't play. And
that's not a good thing either.
No. So the athletic director is like, sing it. So I ended up doing it.
Did he know you could sing?
No. I do not believe that. I mean, he was really taking a Roseanne Barr kind of risk there, you know? Oh, shit. As soon as I started, I knew that I had started way too high. But there's only really one thing you could do. You know, you just got to carry on. But we got to the Rockets' red glare and the Buffs bursting in air, and things got dicey. When I finished announcing the game and afterwards, and people were walking up to me and like, we're not talking about it.
Were they mad that you were singing on one knee?
No. They couldn't see me because I was up in the booth. But yeah.
They were like, she was kneeling when she sung the song. What the fuck is this?
You know, and
She's
what's
worse
funny
than Colin Kaepernick.
is the last time I sang the national anthem was senior night in our high school for the basketball team. And the basketball team at the time was undefeated. Mm-hmm. We had Jason Collier, who played for Indiana and then went professional. He was passed now. But so the gym was packed every night for these basketball games, and we won the state championship that year. And I sang the national anthem at senior night, and it was the single most horrifying event of my life, having done the same thing of starting too high. And at the time, I didn't have like the training and you know, to really pull that off. That is the single most horrifying memory of singing in public that I have. I left that game immediately. Like, as soon as I was done, I didn't stay and watch the game. I didn't talk to anybody. I immediately exited the gym and went home. So it brought back all kinds of really, really bad memories.
I think that's how we need to start all the podcasts with you is, hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. Please rise while Katie sings the national anthem.
Honestly, I did better having done it impromptu with no practice than I did senior year, having actually practiced and prepared for it.
Just getting your own head, or?
Yeah, and just, the national anthem is a very wide-range song. It goes low to high. So if you start too low, you're screwing yourself because you can't hit the low notes. If you start too high, you're screwing yourself because you're going to be struggling with the high notes. So I started too high. Things went very bad. And when I started the other night, I was like, oh my God, it's happening again. I've done it again. But you couldn't just not do it. It's the first round of the tournament. You know, the way things are right now with the presidential election and the whole Colin Kaepernick kneeling at the national anthem, like, it's a thing, you know? Yeah. So if we were to not have any national anthem, you know, there would be...
So what was the deal with that one particular song? Oh, you said the PA was out, right?
Well, it wasn't necessarily the PA was out. It's just it wasn't connecting to the CD player or the music player. I don't know what exactly was going on, but actually that same game, the microphone wouldn't turn on and off because the mic had gone, like the regular mic had gone out. So I had to use the backup mic, which we couldn't turn off. So the whole game I was mic'd, which I tried really, really hard because I struggle. You know, I always turn the mic off because I talk too much and I say shit and I cheer for the girls, you know, from up in the booth. And I was very aware that I couldn't do that. But at one point, two girls from the other team came up on the ball. And then they like smacked into each other and fell down, and the ball was still sitting there. And of course, I started laughing because what else could you do? And you know that went out over the PA.
Oh, that did?
Yeah.
Oh my God! How did that go?
It was fine. I mean, the girls beat this team.
I imagine everybody else was laughing, so it probably wasn't as noticeable.
Yeah, but you know, it's just not very sportsmanlike. So,
holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year announcing soccer games. There was the time that the way that they had the paper set up for the other team, I thought they had their grades listed first, and then their name, and then their number. Mm-hmm. So I started announcing like their grade level as their number, and
why is everybody number 11?
I know, exactly. There's a lot of number 9s on this team. That seems weird. There was times where I forgot to announce. It was senior night. My daughter's a senior, so I was excited to announce her name for senior night. So I just announced the starting lineup and forgot the rest of the team and the coaches. So
you had a senior moment?
Yes. A senior moment on senior night. So they have asked me to do it again, even though my daughter's graduating. So,
that's cool.
I'm not sure if that offer will be rescinded, considering the last couple games. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm drunk and I don't remember. So.
I just think it would have been funny if they tried to play the national anthem, but the file was corrupted. So they just said, "Ladies and gentlemen,
yes."
We can't play the national anthem. It just won't play over the PA. So in its place, please stand for Katy Perry's Roar.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly. And that's funny because the music had been playing before the game. You know, all of a sudden, we go to play the national anthem, no music. I'm like, oh my God. Like, what am I going to do? I'm like, let's all sing it together. But of course, nobody else sings. You know, they're all like, why don't you just do it? You know? I did my best. That's all I can say. I did my best.
Oh, shit. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And because Katie's on the show, I thought now would be a good time to announce when she does do the show, it's going to be We Don't Have Cookies Retro Week.
Retro.
So we're going to have segments by Frankie MacDonald, who is going to give you a little bit of a warning for Halloween. Hopefully it's not too late for most people. Hopefully you're listening to this on the day it comes out. If not, well...
Remember it next year. Write it down, stick it in the old file.
It's still good information to know.
Yeah, reminders for next Halloween. Everybody has that file, right?
And we'll have an impression by Ofuji. So we'll be back.
My name is Frankie MacDonald. Facts about the Halloween night 2016. On Monday, October 31st, 2016, Halloween, kids will be dressing up as ghosts, vampires, Draculas, Frankensteins, zombies, and superheroes. Hockey players, football players, and baseball players during Halloween night when they go trick-or-treating. When they go trick-or-treating, you have to be very careful out there on Monday, October 31st, 2016. And Halloween can be very dangerous. When they go for a walk, don't walk too far. Don't even wander around the streets on Halloween night because the kids could be bad, could be breaking pumpkins. It could be bad kids smashing pumpkins on the streets, throwing candy all over the place and smashing pumpkins. And there'll be kids lighting firecrackers on the streets on Halloween night when they go trick-or-treating. You'll be very careful on Halloween night 2016 for everybody, especially little kids, big kids, and things like that. I'm Frankie MacDonald.
Welcome to First Impression, and this is gonna be Al Pacino at the karaoke bar. Here we go. I'm gonna sing a song. Hit it. Fly me to the moon, la. Fly me to the moon. I forgot the lyrics. I never forget my lines in my acting. What's wrong with me? What do you want? But anyway. The show must go on. That's it. Thank you.
Do you have an impression request for Ofuji or just want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com.
You can also call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail. And speaking of voicemails, I'm still waiting for my shipment of Fight Club cookies.
Well, that's because you're talking about them.
Oh, yeah. So my cookie, please send me those. I've had my lantern going for days. Well, I saw a story. This is one of the stories I really wanted to get into. There was a feud between an apartment resident and the management. What happened was the guy was upset about things not getting done in his apartment. And management obviously wasn't doing anything about it. And they have an underground parking structure. So the guy just parks his van in front of it. And all of this happened in China. And I don't want people thinking I'm just pandering to China. Because I have gotten emails where they're like, oh, you talk about stuff in China. It's like, no, that's where the best news is. Trust me. Because
there's a lot of people over there. There's a high concentration of crazy, you got to figure.
The solution the management company came up with was to hire a bulldozer and crush the van.
Well, that seems reasonable.
They didn't just have it towed or try to push it out of the way. They were like, fuck this guy. Crush it from the top down.
Well, that's certainly one way to deal with your problems.
Surprisingly enough, neither one of those are this week's Dumbass of the Year.
Yeah, really. I bet he was not expecting that move from them.
This is why I hate you guys.
I had a checkmate, and I give you that. You got me.
They do seem kind of shitty. You can't fix this guy's leaky faucet, but you can hire a bulldozer to crush his van.
Exactly.
Maybe he's right. You do seem kind of like assholes.
Why call a plumber when you can get a bulldozer? I mean, I'm sure it's more cost efficient.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of a dick blocking everybody's way into their parking, but I don't know.
Maybe that's how the Chinese deal with block garages. They're like, fuck tow trucks, all right?
Just get you a pack of Mentos and pick that fucker up and move it. Oh, I hope people get that. That's going to sound like a weird plug if they don't.
What does Mentos got to do with anything? Aren't they the fresh maker?
I'm confused. Mentos sponsors the podcast now?
They could. Your call, Mentos.
Send an email, Jason at wedon'thavecookies.com. Oh, man. You don't have any shows coming up or anything, right?
No. Well, I think right now with the election going the way it's going, I'm just afraid to leave the house.
You know, that has stopped me from getting on Facebook a lot now. Mm-hmm. I probably won't be on this week. The only reason those shows post to Facebook is I have it set as a destination to post to when I upload the show. Yeah. So if you're wondering who's uploading the shows, it ain't me because I get on Facebook.
Well, I think part of what's frustrating is that, I had it in my head for a while. I'm like, man, I'm going to fact check these motherfuckers. I'm so sick of just blatant bullshit being bandied about as though it's, hard fact that I'm just going to, wherever I see it, I'm just going to correct it. And I just got tired. I'm just like, I can't. I don't have the stamina. There's just too much bullshit floating around, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So now I just roll my eyes and move on.
I'm just tired of people on both sides making shit up.
Yeah.
And you don't have to.
Yeah.
There's enough on both of them. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this on break, but how's it go? Do you want him in charge of the nuclear button?
Yeah, I hope it's more than just a button that 4 minutes later destroys, an entire nation. Like, I'm hoping there's more protocol than just, hey, hit this button, things go boom.
If it was a button, George Bush would have accidentally pressed it years ago.
Exactly. I thought this was the sandwich button.
I thought it was the Staples Easy button.
Yeah, exactly.
I pushed it. It didn't say that was easy. I went back to bed.
I'd hope they at least call you back. Like, did you really mean this? At least a double check, It's a little frightening for anybody, to have that kind of power on a little red button. I think we need more facts on this. What is the protocol of nuclear war? It's not just, somebody having a bad day, like, fuck China,
Shouldn't at least be a lever so there's a little more effort into it? You have to pull it down. You can't just accidentally hit it with your elbow.
I hope it has like a cover, you can put some files down on it, before you know it. There's nuclear war with Russia.
Where would the button be?
I don't know. Is it like a bank button, like the little red button under the desk? Like, boop.
That's what I wondered.
A sliding cabinet or something.
It's just in a dashboard somewhere in like a controlled room. And
well, they show the Oval Office. It always seems very sparse. Like, there's no like jumble of papers like piled up on the president's desk. Like, oh, I'm so busy ruling the world. You got to assume that there's some kind of like Phineas and Ferb secret, Perry the Platypus room that he goes to
say that.
for all of his.
Well, not the Phineas.
It's like some secret control room, it's like the TARDIS inside.
Yeah, just hope you like move the flag a little bit to the left and this wall opens up and there's just this button right in the middle on a podium. That's all there is. It's this white circular room.
I hope not. I don't know.
I kind of hope there is now. Because that's at least a little harder than just having a button. You have to like move the flagpole and wait for the chamber to open.
I mean, really, if you have to have approval from Congress to go to war, you think you'd at least have to have more approval than just like the ability to push a button and subject people to nuclear holocausts. Like, oh, fuck going to Congress. That'll take time and paperwork. I got to give speeches and come up with, a plan. I can just push this button and I'll go kablooey.
He went rogue.
Yeah, I hope not. I think it's funny when people think that Hillary Clinton, she's PMSing and decides to destroy Europe or something. Like, she's 68 years old. I don't think PMS, that ship's been shut down for a while now. It's into port. There's no PMS going on.
She might have a hot flash and hope that's the button for the air conditioner.
Yeah, that's the best you can hope for.
This is the quick cool down button, right?
Like, what kind of women do you have in your life where you think that PMS would lead to nuclear war? Is anything like my girlfriend? What?
I remember once she was on her period and she shot up a mall full of people. Just imagine what she's
Bitches
going
be crazy.
Just imagine what she's going to do with that button.
So blasé about the button.
Oh my God. I think the best thing you could do if you had a nuclear button and you had to send a nuke somewhere, it would have to be to like whoever has nukes to hit all their nukes.
Yeah.
Just to get the maximum power.
Yeah. But that'd be a lot of nukes because I think they're pretty well spread out.
It's a comedy show. Let's talk about who we're going to obliterate.
Yeah, we're going to blow up. Well, Colbert the other night did a segment about how the Nazis had a base in the North Pole. And, you know, he brought Santa out. Santa's, you know, a Nazi German. But I felt like he really fell short in the one joke, you know, that would solidify Santa being a Nazi. And that's that you don't ever see Jewish or Muslim kids getting presents from Santa.
It seems like they missed the boat with his last name. Should have started with an S.
Yeah.
That way his initials are
The SS.
Yeah. Should have put a little more thought into it. It could have been a little better for you guys. But
Yep.
let's try to figure out how to make Santa a little more Nazi.
Exactly.
We got the red. We put Klaus in there.
There, yeah, exactly. Go really Hitler-tize him.
That's what they should have done, is just trim the beard back.
Yeah,
Where he's got the little Hitler mustache.
I think there's funny that there are people who actually think that Hitler's still alive. And I mean, granted, you know, okay, he could have escaped Germany and, you know, with the bodies being burned, there's really no good evidence that, you know, Hitler did die, but he'd be like 110 years old now. He's not walking around Argentina, you know, anymore.
This is a weird thing to bring up during a comedy show. But quick Hitler fact. Did you know he didn't just want to exterminate all the Jews? There was a breed of dog he wanted wiped off the face of the earth.
Oh, really? I mean, I knew
Yeah.
he had a definite interest in animal breeding. And
There was some kind of dog that they wanted to make like I don't know if you call it national dog since he wanted to take over the world, but he wanted to make it like the dog in the Nazi party. He loved this kind of
German
breed of
Shepherds?
dog.
Because, I mean, that's what he had. It was a German, you know,
I don't remember what it was, but whatever kind it was, he went somewhere and one of the dogs bit him. So he's like, "That's it." That sounded more French than German, but whatever. And he wanted that breed of dog completely killed. I wish I could remember what breed it was. So it's not quite a Nazi fact.
Well, maybe he was.
That's a new segment on the show.
Maybe as a young child he was bit by a Jew, and that's what led to the Jew hate.
Maybe.
He bit my finger. He must die.
Kids do bite.
Mm-hmm.
We know that being parents, but yeah, I thought that was weird. I'm like, Jesus, man, this guy
I know,
really
he's taking it far.
I know. No more pigeons.
He poop on my car.
That sounded kind of Mexican. Maybe I need to quit with the German accents.
How many more people can we insult? The Jews, the Mexicans, we're talking about blowing up China and Russia. We're branching out into the global world in our very Ohio rose-colored glasses, you know?
That's a good thing about living in Ohio. There's nothing for anybody to want to bomb here. So we're pretty good.
Well,
don't bring up Right Pat. You're going to kill my joke. It's like, what, the number 5 thing on things to bomb in America? Something like that.
I mean, I know that I remember when we were talking about nuclear war in class, you know, that was something that the teachers mentioned, and that here we're far enough away where we wouldn't, you know, be initially
survived the initial blast.
But we would have to deal with the aftermath, so that was a cheerful thought. Like, well, at least I'm not going to be burned in a fiery inferno, you know, right off the bat. I can die slowly and painfully of radiation and lack of food. You know?
Yeah. When 9/11 happened, I was like I don't know, just a couple miles from Wright Pat. And I got on the highway and I drove like a motherfucker. I think I was doing like 80, 85.
Like, I gotta get the fuck away from here.
The good thing was, like, the police didn't give a fuck because there were bigger things going on at the moment. It was like within an hour or two of 9/11, so nobody really gave a fuck if you were speeding down the road.
Yeah. Well, apparently a bunch of Ohio highway patrolmen have been called over to the protests of the pipeline in North Dakota.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now is really the optimum time to break traffic laws in Ohio because...
If we're sending people over there, how many other states are doing that?
Oh, yeah.
And it just kind of, in a weird way, makes me laugh that all these people from all these other states are driving there to protest oil. While they burn up all those gas and oil in their car to get there. I don't know. I mean, it's a little impractical to think that they would hang glide or ride a bike.
Yeah, I think there's many hang gliding opportunities from Ohio to North Dakota.
You don't know that.
You're right. I don't have the facts on that, but my logical common sense tells me that's not going to work.
If you had a guy on a... Jesus, we're getting into stoner talk. But if you had a guy or a couple of guys bicycling with an industrial fan that runs off of the pedal power.
There you go.
Trademarked. You could have a guy hang gliding above them. I think that might work. Oh my God.
Sorry, somebody the neighbor looking for their kid. That's how is he at your house? No, I haven't seen him. Is he at your house? I haven't seen him. We have a very good system in our neighborhood of tracking our kids.
That reminds me. I got an email from Dave Pregg the other day, and my reply to his email is, "Who is this?" Yeah. And the best part was he sent me an email back saying, "This is Dave Pregg." It cracked me up because I think his name is in the email address. Yeah. And on my email, it automatically pops up with your name. So yeah. I just thought I was being
funny. I've had people text me. Well, I had the person text me a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Hey, can you help me move? I have a bunch of and a bunch of mulch in my car, and can you come over and help me move it?" And at the time, I just had surgery again. I'm like, "Well, no, but I have a husband and 4 sons. You can certainly send a battalion over, a company of people to help you." But I didn't know who it was from because the name didn't come up on my phone. So I'm like, "Well, that really depends on who this is." Like, if I know you and I like you, then yes, but you're going to have to tell me first because who knows what I'm volunteering my children for. It was my aunt. But then I felt stupid because I had to be like, "Who is this?" She's like, "It's your Aunt Regina." "Oh, sure. Yeah." For you, absolutely. Anybody else, fuck them.
I just can't get the image of these people riding to North Carolina on a bike path.
North Carolina? Well, they're heading in the way wrong direction. Unless they're protesting the beach.
They got to test it out first. They want to go where the Wright brothers were.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll make their way over to the protest if they can get there in time.
They're just showing off. Well, I don't know if we've gone off rails because I really didn't provide anything for us to talk about. So maybe that doesn't apply, but we're going to get into this week's Dumbass of the Year. It's an ex-government worker who allegedly used a county credit card to buy a tuxedo for her dog.
And she couldn't justify that, Yeah,
it's weird when that came up on the audit. It was flagged. Yeah. Dog tuxedo.
He's gonna have to go with me to some pretty highbrow events. You really want him looking like a scrub?
This must be for Governor Jenkins. Approved.
It's got really little legs. No idea he was so short. These measurements, weird.
I'm not sure what the pricing on dog tuxedos are,
Barely enough to lose your job over.
but I'm pretty sure whatever it is, when it comes up on the audit, even if it's $5, it's going to get a second look.
I mean, I guess it's better than the strippers like the CIA was using their money for. Or no, the Secret Service. That's right. Excuse me, CIA. I don't mean to be offensive.
It's okay. They were this week's Dumbass of the Year about a year ago. Or Dumbass of the Week. Or whatever this second. I don't know now. I'm staring at a picture of a Chihuahua in a suit. And it's adorable.
I know. Who could think straight with a Chihuahua in a suit? You should probably post that picture to the internet so people can see exactly why you're so distracted.
I'll put that picture in the show notes. So if you're listening, just check out the show notes. It probably isn't even a Chihuahua. I don't know. It's a little tiny dog that Hitler didn't kill. Hey, do you know what kind of dog Hitler wanted to kill? Send me an email, Jason, at wedonthavecookies.com. Well, do you got anything you want to promote?
My butt.
That comes up almost every time. That's why I said promote. I usually say plug. That comes up instantly.
And you said promote, and I still said butt.
I know. I'm going to put out a best of Mama Kate. There's just going to be a montage of you promoting and plugging your butt. I hope I remember that.
It happens a lot.
All right, guys. Well, you can go to the website, wedon'thavecookies.com, listen to all the previous shows, links to subscribe on all the various platforms, and most importantly, there's a donate button at the bottom where you can donate $1 to the show and make that a reoccurring monthly charge. You're never going to miss $1, and it would help the show out a lot. And if you will miss $1, please don't donate. I would feel like shit.
This is my last dollar. I was going to buy a cheeseburger, but I want it to go to you. I don't think anybody who's down to their last dollar has live stream or, it's like podcast capabilities,
I would just feel
I'm
bad.
living on the street, but I always have AT&T.
You know how many homeless people have cell phones?
Well, I mean,
there's a lot.
Well,
Which is
Obama
crazy.
phones.
Hey,
How dare people have phones? I like it when like Fox News will do a breakdown of like, are these people really poor? They have a refrigerator. Like 90% of poor people have refrigerators. Oh, well, I didn't realize having a refrigerator makes me not poor.
And what they don't tell you is the freezer's broke.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no food in it.
No, but if you're homeless and you're listening to this, send me an email, Jason, that we don't.
Keep your dollar, please. Keep your dollar.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. Follow me on Twitter, Jason Marshall 2. I'd ever tweet. And think that'll do it till next Monday.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review.
Why do birds? I'm just going to sing while you're getting your shit together. Suddenly appear.